The year was 1985. I was about 27, brimming with the misplaced hope of a dedicated young man.
Comrade Kim Sung-chul,
You have been assigned a critical mission. You are being transferred to Yongbyon starting next month. This is the party's deep trust in you, and a grave task that opens a new chapter for the revolution. You must proceed immediately and fulfill the assignment with revolutionary dedication. The path may be rough, but what can we do? The party has decided. We will march forward with a smile, comrade. Yes, comrade instructor, the party has decided, and we, the people, must follow unconditionally. Long live the great leader, Kim Il-sung. 15 years later, on a frigid, moonless winter night, Comrade Kim Sung-chul carefully crossed the frozen Tumen River. The ice groaned, a terrifying warning beneath his worn leather shoes. He could taste the fear and the biting wind. Suddenly, the sound of the border patrol shattered the silence, echoing across the frozen waste. Counter-revolutionary! Stop right there! Kim Sung-chul heard the desperate shouts and the distinct sound of a rifle bolt clicking. He plunged his body into the darkness and the freezing water of the Tumen River to escape the guards' bullets. The cold was a physical shock, a burning pain that promised death. Hello, this is Magunwa Blooms. Today's video is based on the testimonies of actual North Korean scientists and the grim reality they faced during the brutal, arduous march. This is the heartbreaking story of a scientist and a father, a man torn irrevocably between forced loyalty and his own conscience, a father who had no choice but to abandon his homeland, to try and save the only thing that mattered: his family. Now, let's listen to his life-risking defection story. I built the weapon of death in North Korea, or rather, I was forced, day by day, to build it. For 15 years, every moment of my life was spent at the Yongbyon Nuclear Facility. Today, I want to reveal the truth of what I did, what I witnessed, and what price I paid. My name is Kim Sung-chul. I was born in the bustling city of Pyongyang in 1955. My father was a humble factory worker, and my mother worked at a textile plant. We were just ordinary people, loyal citizens. But as a child, I looked up at the vast, star-filled night sky and dreamed of something immense. I wanted to be a scientist, to uncover the hidden secrets of the universe, to understand why the stars shined. My teacher once told me, "Sung-chul, you are smart. Study hard and become a scientist who serves the motherland." I took that mission into my heart. I believed that everything my prestigious admission to Kim Il-sung University's physics department was the divine grace of the party and the great leader. I studied relentlessly. I would be at the library from 6 in the morning until midnight. I wrestled with quantum mechanics and nuclear physics. My professors promised me a brilliant future. In 1975, I met Jung-yi, a bright chemistry student. We fell in love over shared textbooks, dreaming of a future filled with peaceful discovery. We married in 1977. In 1978, our son Junho was born. Holding that tiny, fragile life for the first time, I vowed to live an honorable and prosperous life for him. I was assigned to a research institute in Pyongyang, dedicated to the peaceful use of nuclear energy. It was everything I wanted. My days were filled with calculations that promised progress, and my evenings were spent with Junho. We would walk along the Taedong River. I would carry Junho on my shoulders while Jung-yi held my hand. Junho once told me, "I want to be a scientist like you, Dad." We were happy. We had a simple, perfect happiness. I never imagined that those peaceful days were numbered. In the autumn of 1985, the summons came. The director looked intensely serious. "Comrade Kim Sung-chul, you have a crucial mission. You will be transferred to Yongbyon next month." The name Yongbyon, it hung in the air, heavy and unspoken. My heart clenched. I knew it was a place of deep secrets. I asked what I would be doing there. The director would only say it was a grave task for the motherland and a direct order from the party, an order that could not be refused. That evening, I told Jung-yi, her face drained of color. "How far away is it? How often can you visit?" she whispered. 7-year-old Junho clung to me, weeping. "Don't go, Dad!" My heart was breaking, but I had to obey. On October 15th, 1985, I boarded the train at Pyongyang Station. Jung-yi and Junho waved goodbye, tears welling in my wife's eyes. I forced a smile, promising I would be back soon. I looked out the window as they grew smaller and smaller. I didn't know that our ordinary happiness was ending right there. After hours of travel, the train stopped at Yongbyon. The station was small, and the atmosphere was oppressive. The perimeter was crawling with armed soldiers and cold-eyed security agents. I was taken by military truck. As we drove, I saw it. High barbed wire fences, concrete guard posts, and towering watchtowers. It looked not like a research institute, but a prison. I was subjected to body searches and item confiscation. I felt like a criminal. When I finally entered the facility, rows of gray concrete buildings lined the desolate grounds. The director greeted me with a stiff formality. He spoke of protecting the Republic's sovereignty and defending against enemies. I carefully asked if this meant we were building weapons. He only replied that they were for peace, to deter aggression. But in my soul, I knew the truth. This was the factory of death. The next day, I started work. My team was responsible for the enrichment process. My physics knowledge was to be used for complex calculations and simulations. Enrichment. The word chilled me. It was the core technology of a nuclear weapon. I desperately wanted to refuse, but I couldn't. Refusal meant not just my death, but the destruction of my family. I knew the consequences. We worked from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. Every stroke of the keyboard was building a bomb. Cameras were everywhere. Security agents monitored our every move. Once a month, I could visit Pyongyang. Junho would run and hug me. "Papa!" Jung-yi would ask, "How is that place?" I could never tell her. I only lied, saying I was fine. But she saw the truth, the exhaustion on my face, the life draining from my eyes. Junho would ask, "Dad, when will you stay home and not go to Yongbyon?" I couldn't answer. I worked like a machine to survive. One day, a colleague, Comrade Park, a kind chemist in his 50s, was gone. He had apparently refused the research on grounds of conscience. They dragged him away, to a political prison camp, no doubt, along with his family. That night, I shook with terror. I realized that my only defense was to stop thinking, stop feeling, and just obey. The 1990s brought the devastating, arduous march. When I visited home, the reality was sickening. Pyongyang was dim. Jung-yi and Junho grew thinner with every visit. Jung-yi cried, "We can't live like this. Our child is starving." It tore me apart. While people starved outside, we were shielded inside Yongbyon, building weapons. It was a monstrous, impossible paradox. My nights were consumed by terror. I would dream that my weapon exploded, killing multitudes, and among the dead was Junho. I would wake up screaming, drenched in sweat. In the brutal winter of 1998, the final blow came. I returned home to find Jung-yi huddled on the floor, weeping. Junho had collapsed at school and was hospitalized. He was a teenager, yet small and frail like a child. The doctor's diagnosis was stark: severe malnutrition. If he doesn't receive nourishment immediately, he is in danger, the doctor warned. I held his tiny cold hand. He woke up and smiled. "Dad." My heart didn't just break. It shattered into dust. Was this the nation I was loyal to? My son was dying of hunger while I built weapons. That night, I made my final, terrifying decision. I had to leave. Returning to Yongbyon, I was different. I could no longer concentrate on the equations. I saw only Junho's face. I had to leave. But how? Escape from Yongbyon was a near impossibility. I was a nuclear scientist, the most tightly controlled man in the country. I started planning, slowly, carefully. I needed money and a broker. It took months of perilous inquiries to find someone connected to the Chinese border. He asked if I would go alone. I nodded. If we moved as a family of 3, we would certainly be caught and executed. I told myself, I will go first, establish a footing, and then, I swear, I will bring them out. In January 1999, I took my last leave. I tried to memorize their faces, their voices. I played one final game of Korean chess with Junho. I walked by the river with Jung-yi. I couldn't tell them. To speak the truth was to sign their death warrants. The next morning, Junho was at school and Jung-yi was at the factory. I stood alone in the empty house. I packed only the absolute minimum and left a shaky, tear-stained letter on the desk. My wife, Junho, I am sorry. You will think I am irresponsible, but this is the only way for us to live. Wait for me. I will surely see you again. Let us live in hope for the day we are reunited. My hands shook and my tears smeared the ink. I took the train north to Musan. Every mile, a journey deeper into fear. I am a traitor, I thought, but I could not go back. The broker led me through rough terrain under the cover of night. He stopped and whispered, "The Tumen River is below. Cross that, and you are in China." I stood on the riverbank, looking into the darkness. Crossing meant eternal separation, abandoning my country, my soul, but I could not build another weapon. I could not watch my son die. I stepped onto the ice. It groaned, a terrifying sound. Then the shout, "Don't move! Stop! Border Patrol!" I ran. Bang, bang, bang! The ice fractured around the bullets. I kept running. I didn't care if I died, but I could not be caught. Halfway across, the ice broke. The water was agonizingly cold, stealing my breath and paralyzing my muscles. I fought the current, kicking and swimming until my fingers grasped the far bank. I clawed my way onto Chinese soil. I had succeeded, but I felt only terror. What was happening to Jung-yi and Junho right now? They would be interrogated, tormented. I had left my family in hell. For months, I hid in China, an illegal migrant. I did manual labor on construction sites, sleeping in crowded rooms with others who wore the same mask of guilt and fear. One night, a man told me his wife and children had been sent to a political prison camp because he defected. I wept for him, fearing the same fate for my own. After 6 agonizing months, a broker secured a route to South Korea via Mongolia. Hiding in trucks and freight cars, I survived multiple near-death experiences. Finally, I reached the South Korean embassy. I knocked and gasped, "Please help me. I am from North Korea." The embassy staff spoke with unexpected warmth. "Welcome to the Republic of Korea. You have done well to find freedom." In March 2000, I landed in Seoul. The South was unrecognizable, far more advanced, and the people were visibly free. I struggled with the freedom. Everything was foreign. The language, the culture, the mindsets. I felt like an alien. Every night, Jung-yi appeared in my dreams, asking, "Husband, when will you come back?" And Junho asked, "Why did you leave, Dad?" Around 2010, I contacted a Defector organization to find my family. After months, the news arrived. My wife, Kim Jong-un, had died in 2001 from a lack of medical care. My son, Kim Junho, could not be traced. He was presumed sent to a political prison camp. I collapsed onto the floor. "Jung-yi! Junho! I'm sorry! I couldn't protect you!" I lost everything. My voice, my will to live for years. But slowly, time moved on. I realized I had to live for them. I must live the life they were denied. I started studying physics again, but with a new purpose: peaceful energy, life-saving technology, science for life, not death. I now work at a small lab, researching solar energy. This dedication is my atonement. I was loyal to the party and the motherland, but that loyalty created a weapon of death and cost me my family and my very soul. To the scientists still trapped in North Korea, you too are being coerced. You can choose. Do not follow wrong orders. Do not abandon your conscience. I know the great price, but if you are alive, there is hope. The world is vast. Freedom exists. I lost everything, but I gained one thing: freedom. Though this freedom is solitary and painful, I can finally breathe. My dear wife Jung-yi, my son Junho, I am so sorry. I love you. I pray that you can forgive me. This was the story of Kim Sung-chul, the confession of a man who worked for 15 years in North Korea's nuclear program. A man who lost everything and came to South Korea. This is not just a story. It is a reality that is still ongoing in North Korea. Please show your interest and support. Subscribing and liking gives us great strength to create more videos. Mugunghwa Blooms will sincerely continue to support all those who seek freedom. Thank you.